Hello, how you doing? Look, today we're going to make a beautiful, really simple chickpea or chana curry. Let's get moving. So I'm going to start mine off with some coconut oil. You can use a different oil if you want, but yeah, I prefer coconut. Melting that down, we're going to go in with 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. Now I'm going to add some fresh curry leaves. If you can get them, they're really beautiful. If not, try and get dried. We're on an above medium heat, as you can see. So here we go. We're going to drop in 1 cup of onion. I've cut my onion really small. We're going to whiz that around for about 4 minutes. Fabulous stuff. Next up, we're going to be adding 1 tablespoon of garlic ginger paste, which is a 50-50 mix of the two. Salt to taste. And then here we go for about another 2 or 3 minutes, again stirring often. Beautiful stuff. Here we go now with some tomatoes. I've got 2 cups of chopped tomato. Try and use a nice juicy ripe tomato because we're going to cook this now for about 5 minutes. We want it to kind of really reduce down, break them tomatoes down to give off some beautiful moisture. We're going to add our spices now. So what I've got is 2 of coriander, 1 turmeric, 1 cumin, and 1 chili powder. So like I say, let's get this cooked now and see if we can break these tomatoes down a bit. Beautiful stuff. You can see the tomatoes are breaking down nicely. Well, I'm going to drop in some fresh chili. The amount is entirely up to you. Followed by our chickpeas. These are from a can, so if you're using from a can like me, give them a nice wash in some, cold water. Let's spin them around, staying on this above medium heat, just for about 2 to 3 minutes. So now we've got some lovely flavour on the chickpeas or the chana. We're now going to add some coconut milk. There's just over a cup there. Mix that in with all those beautiful spices. And let that go for about 3 more minutes. Now I'm going to add some water. I just rinsed it out with the coconut milk there. But that was just cold water, and about, again, half a cup maybe. I'm going to turn the heat up a little bit now and let it go for about 5 minutes. It will reduce down a little bit. What I'm adding here is garam masala powder, which is a beautiful finishing spice just at the end. You can see that it's thickened up as it's reduced down. Check it for salt. That's it. It's absolutely delicious. Hello, let's get these carrots into something absolutely delicious. So I've got 3 cups of carrots here, 1 cup of onion, 2 cups of coconut milk. Then I've got 1 teaspoon each, chili, turmeric, cumin, and coriander. Some fresh chili to taste, up to you. 1 tablespoon garlic ginger and 2 teaspoons of cumin. Okay, some coconut oil I'm using. Use something different if you want in the mix. Let's get those cumin seeds in. Let them do their thing for a few seconds. The 1 cup of onion. You can see I've cut everything really small. I'm also now going to add in our 3 cups of carrots. In they go. About 4 minutes on an above medium heat. Stir often. Okay, they are starting to look fabulous, aren't they? The ginger garlic paste, 1 tablespoon of, in it goes, with the fresh chili. Now the powders, teaspoon each. Better get some salt in the mix before I forget. We're going to give this a quick mix. We're staying on this above medium heat. Mix that around to get the masala powders just happening, and then very simply what we're going to do is add 2 cups of coconut milk. We're going to lower the heat, not to a simmer, but above a simmer, and let it go now until your carrots are tender. For me, that's about another 4 to 5 minutes. Bit of cilantro in there, absolutely delicious.
Hello, how you doing? Today we're going to make a beetroot curry. Vegetarian, vegan, absolutely delicious. Okay, so I've got some beetroot here, as you can see. What I'm going to do is I'm going to top and tail it and peel it, just like you do a potato. Then I'm going to cut it up into some cubes. Okay, so as you can see, the beetroot's there. I peeled that and I cut it into kind of bite-sized pieces. 2 tomatoes, 1 onion cut nice and small. Here I've got some curry leaves. I'm using quite a lot of curry leaves in this. Now, if you can get curry leaves fresh, they're amazing. They're in abundance where I am, so I'm really lucky. If not, you might be able to get them dried, depending on where you are in the world. Okay, teaspoon each of what I always call the big 4. So turmeric, chili, cumin, and coriander powders. Or if you want, use a curry powder mix that you already have. I've got 3 regular size chilies there. I mean, you can adjust that as to how you want. 1 tablespoon of garlic ginger paste. 1, 2, 3, 5 green cardamom pods. And here, now I would normally use cumin seeds when I'm making some form of curry, but these are fennel seeds and I really like them with the beetroot. I think it kind of just works out really well. We're going to start this off with some oil. We're going to add some salt and a couple of other bits. Fantastic. So I've got my little pot here, or a little wok, whatever you want. I've got some oil in there. I'm using a sunflower oil today, but coconut oil will be nice. Mustard oil is nice. What we're going to do is we're going to drop in the fennel seeds and the green cardamom pods. I've just put the heat on now, so it's just heating up nicely. Just for a few seconds, let them do their thing in the oil. They'll infuse that oil and give it a fantastic flavour. Then we're going to drop in the curry leaves. Now, they can be very, very noisy. So let's see how they perform. Quite noisy, weren't they? Then we're going to drop in the beetroot. And we're going to go just for 3 or 4 minutes on a high heat. Keep it moving. So still quite hard, but we give them a nice little head start. Next up, we're going to drop in that 1 onion, the garlic ginger paste, 1 tablespoon of that, and salt. Let's go for another 3 minutes. Stay in on this vibrant heat. Fabulous stuff. Okay, we're nearly done. Watch this. So, 2 tomatoes. Try and use a nice ripe tomato. The fresh chili to taste. Then we're going to drop in our powders. Let's have one more look. Equal parts, teaspoon each, turmeric, coriander, chili, and cumin. We're going to give that a little mix. We're going to add a little bit of water. I'm going to get a lid on this. I'm going to turn the heat down to medium now. I'm going to let that go for about 6 minutes. What we're looking for is those tomatoes to break down and they'll create a fantastic masala or gravy for us. So lid on, about 6 minutes. Okay, just taking the lid off. Off goes the heat. That is beautiful. Now we've got quite a lot of water or moisture from the tomatoes as they were cooking down. Check that for salt. I'm just going to finish this with a nice big pinch of garam masala powder. And if you wanted, you could put a fresh herb in there, like some cilantro or coriander like that, if you fancied it. I'm keeping it just like that. That's beautiful. Really, really nice. Let me get that on a plate. Yeah, I'm really happy with that. I love that. Hello, how you doing? You're looking here at a lovely bowl of spinach, or actually palac, which is a little bit more robust kind of thing, but you can use either one. Spicy, delicious, healthy, vegetarian, vegan. Okay, so what you're looking at here is known as palac. So if you're from the Indian subcontinent, you're going to know exactly what I'm talking about. You can use spinach if you want. This is slightly more robust, I think is the word. What we're going to do is we're going to trim it down a little bit. Some of the stalks on this stuff are very thick, so we don't need all of them. Some of them are fine. We're going to wash it through nicely with all spinach. Give it a nice rinse because you're going to get some sort of gritty kind of dirt on there. And then I'm going to chop it up. So it looks like a huge amount. It's 6 bunches of this. But of course, spinach cooks down to pretty much nothing. Let me prepare that. So I've washed that through, taken any kind of blemishes out, cut a few of the stalks off. I don't mind some of the stalks in there, but some of them were really quite big, you know, and kind of can be a bit woody, but I don't mind a few in there. So that's ready to go. That's now about 8 cups in volume now. If you wanted, you don't have to use the fresh. You could go for frozen. Frozen spinach and palac is not actually that bad. Canned spinach and palac is bloody awful. Stay away from it. So yeah, frozen can work, and you're going to skip this stage just here. Let's get moving. I'll show you some other ingredients. Okay, so we've seen the spinach or palac there. Now we've got onions. I've got about, that's just over 2 cups, just over 2 cups of tomato and onion. Slice my red onion, use a different color onion if you want, and a tomato cut nice and small. Fresh chili, up to you how much you want to put in, and I'm putting mine in whole. I'm not going to chop it if you want. A tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, a teaspoon of cumin seeds, and then a teaspoon here of what I always call the big 4. If you're regular to the show, you know exactly what I'm about to say. So equal parts, teaspoon each, turmeric, chili, cumin, coriander. If you wanted, you don't have them spices, you could just use the curry powder, but yeah, that is way better. Let's get moving. So you're going to need a fairly large kind of wok type thing like I've got here, because the volume of the spinach or palac as it goes in. The heat is on, just put that on, and that's on above medium, so it's fairly high. Now I'm using coconut oil today. You can use a different oil if you want. We're going to start off by dropping in the cumin seeds, just a teaspoon of those, and then the onion. To that I'm going to add a little bit of salt. I'm using this pink stuff at the moment. Just giving that a go. Okay, so we're going to go for about 3 or 4 minutes on this above medium heat. And just as those onions start to cook away, we're going to add in our fresh chili. Like I say, I'm putting in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm putting mine in whole. Chop them if you want. The tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, which is a 50-50 mix or blend of the two. We're going to go with our spices. So we've got a teaspoon each, chili, turmeric, cumin, coriander. In that goes. Then the fresh tomato. So stay on this kind of vibrant heat. Let this go for 5-6 minutes. We want to kind of cook those tomatoes out a little bit. We might get some moisture from them. So you can see that the tomatoes are broken down. We've got ourselves a lovely kind of masala there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to grab all of this spinach or palac, get it in. Now if you want, you can pop a lid on this and let it cook for 4 or 5 minutes. I'm not going to. I'm just going to be tossing it over in the pan, mixing it in with the masala that we have underneath. And it will break down and break down pretty much to nothing. It will reduce down at least 60–70%, I would imagine. So you can see that it's reduced right down, giving off moisture, cooking beautifully. Now if you're using just normal spinach, or what you call it, or what we're calling the West spinach, it's very light and kind of, you know, will cook really, really quickly. This stuff, Palac, I think in Hindi, I think Palac means spinach, but people would also call this a type of spinach, not like the kind of very, you know, European or American type spinach we say. This is a little bit more kind of collards, greeny, mustard leaves, in fact, is what it is, most of it. But you can use any different type of leaves. Like I say, this is going to take a little bit more cooking. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the lid off it, because I want to get rid of this moisture. I'm going to cook it until it evaporates out. So it's going to take about another 5 or so minutes. I'm going to be stirring fairly often. Okay, so that's been going for about 5 minutes, I think. And you can see it's starting to kind of fry now. The moisture's gone, which is kind of where I like it. We're going to turn off the heat. We're going to add a nice big pinch or two of garam masala powder. Now, garam masala powder, well, it's that stuff there. And it's a blend of spices, nice kind of finishing spice. And then we're going to get a nice big handful of cilantro or coriander. I mean, you can put less than this. I just like that in there. And we're going to give that a mix. And that is really beautiful. I love that. And that's it. Simple as can be. It takes a little while to cook this one, but I really do love it.
Hello, how you doing? Today we're going to be making a really simple, beautiful mushroom curry with a bit of coconut. So I'm starting mine off with some coconut oil. You could use a different oil if you want. We're going to melt that down, and we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. We're on an above medium heat. Just let the cumin seeds do their thing in the oil. They'll infuse the oil and give it a beautiful, beautiful flavour. Then we're going to add 1 cup of onion. Now I've cut my onion really small. You can slice it if you want, that's up to you. So just let that go for about 2 to 3 minutes. We're now going to add a tablespoon of ginger garlic paste. Salt to taste. And then fresh chilli. I mean, the amount of fresh chilli is entirely up to you. Let's give that a little mix. Let that go for another 2 to 3 minutes. So here we go. We've got a teaspoon each of chili powder, turmeric, coriander, and cumin powder. Always call that the big 4. Anyway, in they go. Little mix around there. Then I've got 2 cups of tomato. Cut them really small. Try and use a nice juicy ripe tomato if you can. We're going to cook this. Kind of want it to cook down a little bit, you know. It's going to be part of our sauce. So just as the tomatoes start to mush slightly, we're going to go with 3 cups of mushrooms. That's about 250 grams in total. You can see how I've cut mine, fairly chunky. Again, cut it nice and thin if you want, into slices. And we're going to go for another 4 minutes. You might get some moisture from the mushrooms depending on the type that you've used. Excellent. Here we go. We've got 1 cup of coconut milk. That's going to mix in with the tomato and create a beautiful masala. So just let that go for about another 3 or 4 minutes. Check it for salt. We're going to add a little bit, like half a cup of coriander or cilantro. Mix, job done. It's beautiful. Vegan, vegetarian, spicy and delicious.
Chana dal. It's Indian, it's spicy, it's delicious, it's super easy, and of course it's vegetarian and vegan. Okay, so in the center there, I've got 3 cups of cooked chana dal. 2 cups onion, I've cut it really small. 1 cup of tomato. Some fresh curry leaves. If you can get them, they're fabulous. They really are good in this. If not, try and get dried. Nothing else can replace them really. 2 teaspoons of cumin seeds. A teaspoon each of what I always call the big 4. So we've got cumin, coriander, chili, and turmeric. A tablespoon of ginger garlic paste, and today I'm using these fresh green chilies. They're actually, it's one of those ones, long chili like that. They're not particularly hot. They're very tasty, but not that hot at all. Let's get moving. Okay, so chana dal. Chana dal looks exactly the same, pretty much identical to yellow split peas. But the difference is that yellow split peas, when you cook them and cook them and cook them, they're mushed down into kind of like a soupy sort of texture. These will not. So in there, I'm using coconut oil today. You can use a different oil if you want. I've got 3 tablespoons. We're going to start off by dropping in the fresh curry leaves and the cumin seeds. I've just put that on above medium heat. We're going to go for like 60 seconds or so just to infuse the oil. Beautiful. 2 cups onion. Cut mine nice and small. 1 tablespoon ginger garlic paste, which is a 50-50 mix of the 2. We're going to add some salt. And on this above medium heat, we're going to go for around 4 minutes. Beautiful stuff. Next up, that 1 cup of tomato and my chili. Like I said, this looks like a lot, but these are not massively hot. What we're going to do now is cook this. We want to really cook down those tomatoes. Probably going to take about 5 minutes or so. Stir often. Beautiful stuff. The tomatoes are really nice and soft now. We're going to add in our spices. One more look, shall we? 1 teaspoon each of turmeric, chili, cumin, and coriander. If you wanted, you could just use a curry powder that you may have. Quick little mix. Then we're going to go for the chana dal. And what I've done with this, I just washed it through, and then I boiled it for about 10 minutes. It cooks fairly quickly. 3 minutes of stirring and stirring. Just want to get all of those ingredients together. Then we're going to add some water. Here we go with some water. Now that looks like a lot. It actually is. It's 500 ml, half a litre. What we're going to do is we're going to cook this now. Again, stay on this fairly lively heat. We're going to cook this for about 6 or 7 minutes. It will evaporate out, and we've pretty much done it. Okay, so I'm happy about there. You can go a bit further if you want and dry it out a little bit more. But you can see that because it's chana dal, it's kind of kept its shape, its body. If this was yellow split peas, it would have just been pretty much watery now, which is fine if you only want to use that. Off goes the heat. A little bit of cilantro or coriander in the mix. And a little pinch of garam masala powder. Garam masala powder is that stuff there. It's a blend, like a nice finishing spice. Little mix, job done. And there we have it, a really simple, beautiful chana dal.
Hello, how you doing? Look, today we're going to make this beautiful potato curry, a kind of dry fry potato. It's really, really delicious. So I'm going to start off by using some coconut oil. You can change that if you want. I've got like a kind of tablespoon of that. above medium heat, I'm going to drop in 2 dried red chilies and 1 teaspoon of cumin seeds. To that, we're going to be adding 1 cup of onion, and I'm using 1 tablespoon of garlic and 1 tablespoon of ginger. Now, I've chopped mine. If you want, you could use ginger garlic paste. We're going to cook that for 2 to 3 minutes, stirring pretty much all of the time. Then we're going to be adding our potatoes. Now, I've peeled my potatoes and got about, I think, about 4 or 5 cups here. In they go. You can see the size that I've cut them. You don't want them too big because they're raw and they're going to take a long time to cook. You know, if they're too big, it's going to take ages. Stir them around for about 3 or 4 minutes. Here we go. Let's get some more flavors happening. So I'm going to add now some fresh chili. The amount's entirely up to you, and you can see that I've kept mine whole. Fresh curry leaves, if you can get them, they're absolutely fabulous. If not, try and get dried. Again, we're going to be stirring this around on this vibrant heat. I'm going to go for about another 3 or 4 minutes here. Then next up, what we're going to do, I'm going to add about 100 ml, about a cup of water. That's just going to steam out in there. So cook that for about 4 minutes to kind of steam out. It's going to really help the potatoes cook nicely and get them nice and tender. Beautiful. Potatoes are well on their way. So here we go. We've now got a teaspoon each of turmeric, chili and cumin powder. Little mix there. Just got 1 decent sized tomato there, just cut really chunky in the mix there. That will give off a little bit of moisture as it cooks. That's breaking down really nicely there. Little bit of fresh cilantro or coriander. Little bit of salt to taste if you want. But for me, that's really beautiful, nice and simple. I hope you enjoy that. Keep safe, keep well, and I'll see you soon. Lots of love.